The value of our precious beaches cannot be overstated. They are cherished by all of us who live here. They are adored by our visitors who come to our shores. They are a valuable and treasured natural resource. As we all work together to build a vibrant beach economy, the Ministry of the Environment will remain committed to conserving the environmental beauty of our shoreline. The Beach Vision concept takes economic advantage of the beauty of our beaches without destroying it. This plan is partly about making our tourism product more competitive and creating jobs for our sons and daughters in the process. This is an opportunity to bring more Bermudians into the Bermuda tourism experience. It's an exciting time, and your voice can be a part of shaping that future.
So here we are at John Smith's Bay, one of the most beautiful coastlines, as you can see right here in Bermuda. Glenn, why was this beach chosen, one of 5, to be targeted for the Bermuda Beach Vision?
Well, this has been a popular beach for a very long time, not just for beachgoers, but even for artists who want to come here to paint the landscape. There are several beautiful photographs that you can see all over social media now. So aesthetically, this beach is just very popular. So we also see it as an economic opportunity for the community as well.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Beach Vision as well. A lot of people don't know or aren't even aware of what the Beach Vision is.
Yeah, this is really our first chance to get to talk to the public about it. And the reason we did it is because there are so many sectors of our economy, like international business, tourism, and others, that have clear strategies on what we need to do to be successful. And that isn't necessarily been the case for the beach economy. So we tried to put together some really smart people to think about how we could monetize the beach, this important national asset, without destroying it environmentally. And we think we've come up with a vision that can accomplish that.
Well, you said 2 things there. Let's first talk about the economic benefits of the Beach Vision.
Well, we think the most important economic benefit is actually jobs. We first surveyed visitors to find out what they wanted in their ideal beach experience. We did this online, and we even did focus groups in the US East Coast, talking to people who had recently been to Bermuda and also talking to people who fit the psychographics of who we want to come to Bermuda, even though they haven't been before. And then what we did with the help of the Ministry of Public Works is survey locals, find out what they wanted in their beach experience, because of course we're talking to 2 audiences when we talk about Bermuda's beaches. And it turns out they want very much the same thing. They want beaches that are clean, they want restroom facilities that they're not embarrassed to use, they want to have casual dining experiences, in some cases they want to have music. And so when we put that all together, we realized that we actually have a gap between what we're offering now and what we could offer to reach the ideal beach experience. So the vision is about filling that gap. And this is really our first opportunity to ask the public what they think about that vision. And we hope they see as much potential in it as we do.
And I went through the vision plan, and there was things as well as towel service, chair service, different kinds of sports. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Sure. First on the amenities like towel service and chair service. That's not offered universally at all of our beaches, particularly 5 beaches that we're focused on. And those 5 are Shelly Bay, Horseshoe Bay, Clearwater Beach, Tobacco Bay, and here at John Smith's Bay. So if we think about offering visitors the opportunity to rent a beach chair or get towel service because they don't travel with their own towels, that also brings an economic opportunity because somebody has to offer that service and then they have to hire somebody to deliver that service to the visitor. So we see tremendous job potential that way. But then there were other things like you were talking about, water sports, snorkeling, cultural experiences like hair braiding, right, and getting a massage at the beach. All of these things are what we're hearing from beachgoers that they'd like to have the option to purchase. And if we can fill that gap, it means that those visitors are spending more money when they're in Bermuda. And ultimately, that's what we want to do is have them have the biggest economic impact possible when they visit Bermuda.
Now, whenever we talk about the beaches here in Bermuda, there's always that element of the environment and concerns about what's going to change in the natural landscape. How is the vision going to take that into account?
No, that's a really good question. So we're not only saying that we should be balanced in this approach, we're saying that we have to be. Because if we don't look out for the environmental sensibilities, we actually destroy the economic opportunity that we have. So there has to be a balance. And we also think that our beaches, at least these 5 in particular that I've been talking about, should not be protected from economic development. They should be protected because it's an economic opportunity for the country. And there's a big difference there. All across the island, there are 40 beaches that you and I can go enjoy. We're talking about 5 of them, 12%. And we think that, too, is a very balanced and reasonable approach. That's what we've explained to BESS and to the Parks Commission. So we hope that they agree there's an economic opportunity here that can be realized without destroying it environmentally.
Now, with the focus groups, were there any surprising statistics or any surprising finds from both the tourists and guests, or residents, rather?
That's the most surprising thing for me was that all the answers were obvious. I think if you and I had a conversation about our beaches, even before we worked on this project, we would probably say, oh, it'd be nice to have somebody bring me a drink while I'm at the beach instead of waiting in a long line to go get it. Those are the kind of answers we got. So in some ways, they were very obvious. We did the visitor part first because, of course, at the Tourism Authority, that's the audience that we're always working with. And we did get a little bit nervous working with government to survey locals because we said, well, what if the answers are completely different? And we only have one beach product, so what do we do? But the answers came back pretty much the same. Now, there were slight nuances. Locals value convenient parking more than visitors do, but that makes perfect sense. Locals did not value towel service as much as a visitor would because they can bring their own towel. Those things make sense. So on the big issues like clean, well-maintained beaches, a relaxing atmosphere like you have here at John Smith's Bay, the opportunity to get local cuisine, all of those answers were pretty much the same, whether we asked visitors or locals.
And would you say currently the beaches are being underutilized in terms of what we could possibly do with them?
I think absolutely. I think we have a tremendous opportunity. Just to look at one beach as a microcosm, Tobacco Bay, we think they do a good job of fully monetizing that asset without destroying it environmentally. And they have, some parts of the summer, up to 30 people on the payroll because they keep it all going. And that means beach attendants who go out to the lawn chairs, ask you if you want a drink. And we think when you do that, you actually sell more drinks because the person didn't even have to think about it. You brought it to them. So that kind of activity, if we can spread it out in a reasonable and sensible way across those 5 public beaches, we think there is a huge job potential and a huge economic impact potential for the country.
Now, concessions have been awarded at both Shelley Bay and Horseshoe Bay. The other 3, I believe, are still up for grabs. How does one go about expressing interest in perhaps that?
Well, so the Parks Commission is ultimately responsible for awarding concessions. So that's an area we leave up to them. But what we've tried to convince the Parks Commission of is now that we have a vision, you should use it as a litmus test to decide which concessions are appropriate for which beaches. I think if we do that, then we have a coherent strategy. And for us in tourism, it's so important because then we can go out and market what we have because we know what it's going to be. And then when visitors come here, the brand promise is fulfilled. There are no surprises. I knew before I got here there was going to be somebody who could bring me a drink on the beach. And I know because cultural identity in the beach is important that I'm going to be able to get a rum swizzle or a dark and stormy. Those kinds of things are very important. And we want to be able to market that to get visitors to come here.
Now, there once was a restaurant here, just up there on the hill. Can you talk a little bit about that and if that's going to be the new place of a new restaurant, hopefully?
Well, who knows? I mean, again, that would be up to the Parks Commission to decide, but I think the history of this beach shows that the potential was once there and it can be fulfilled again. But what we're arguing is that you need to approach it in a very strategic way, just like you would the international business sector, just like you would the banking sector. The beaches have its own vibrant potential for economic growth, and we hope our beach vision sort of sets us down that path to realize that fully. Also, we think the other thing that could be very important is creating a clear identity for all 5 of those beaches. So when I say that, I mean Some of our visitors, one of the target psychographics we go after is something called Go For It families, families with young children who travel together. If we decided as a country that Shelly Bay was the beach for young families, we can then market that.
Right.
And then when those visitors come to Bermuda, perhaps Horseshoe Bay isn't the only beach they've ever heard of. They know because they have young families, Shelly Bay is the place to go. And then that helps us solve the overcrowding problem we've seen at Horseshoe Bay, and also helps us build a transportation plan around that. So let's say that Go For It family comes by cruise ship, they want to get to Shelly Bay. Perhaps we now have a water taxi service or a catamaran service that takes them from Dockyard to Shelly Bay, and it doesn't create further stress on our roadways for ground transportation. That's the kind of strategic thinking we think comes into play when you have a clear vision. So I never got to see that restaurant when it was here, but I'm anxious to see what the view is from up there. We should go up and take a look.
Yeah, let's do that. So Regina, here we are at Horseshoe Bay. One could argue one of the most famous beaches here in Bermuda. So why choose this beach to be part of the Bermuda Beach Vision?
Well, the reason that we chose this beach is because it already had development on it, and that would make sure that we stayed sustainable, not creating new development on any beach, but we could enhance what already existed here.
And what will make it unique to the user?
I think what makes Horseshoe Bay unique to the user is that it's one of our larger beaches. It has trails and it has the ability to have something for families as well as for the party goer when they bring their groups, say, at Cup Match and want to just have some revelry time.
Now, I was speaking to Glenn about John Smith's Bay. We kind of were talking about perhaps that being a wellness beach where one could do yoga and massages. What do you see for Horseshoe?
Horseshoe has the family experience, as well as I'm saying the trails, as you can go farther back on the beach. And it's also a beach that you can do just the time to sit, enjoy, and a place for the cruise ship people when they come to Bermuda and experience our most fantastic beach, I would say.
And what about locals? How would you say that they see the beach now, and what kind of things would they like to see evolve on the beach?
Well, most locals use the beach for walks in the morning. There's a lot of swimming clubs and running, but I think they'll see an improved experience for themselves. They'll be able to partake in the new things that the concession will have for them, such as renting, al fresco dining, and still keep to what they already have.
Well, let's head over to the concession stand now, and we can chat more about what we'll see in changes.
Sure.
So Regina, why is it necessary to upgrade the concession stand here at Horseshoe?
Well, the building really wasn't changed since the 90s, and I think it's important, and government thought it was important, that we got a new concession that would fit the idyllic nature of Horseshoe Bay, and it was important for locals and tourists to see something different, something fresh, something of the 21st century.
And what are some of the offerings that you're most excited about?
One that I'm really excited about is that soon we'll be able to actually order our food on the beach and have it delivered. So you never have to leave. You get to enjoy the sun and the sea without ever having to leave the beach. I think that's amazing.
And who was the vendor that was awarded the contract?
That would be Chops Limited. They own or run, I would say, the Beach Bar in Hamilton as well as Red Steakhouse. And they have been awarded the contract based on the tender that we did.
And in terms of the overall Bermuda Beach vision, how does the concession stand tie into that vision?
I think that the concession ties into it quite well, actually. It's going to be chic. It will be casual. It won't be too invasive on our surrounding nature. And it gives the visitors something new but not overpriced.
Regina, all of that sounds great. I cannot wait to actually order a dark and stormy out there on the beach.
Yes.
Thanks a lot for showing us around.
No problem.
Welcome back. We're here at Clearwater Beach, which is one of the 5 beaches chosen for the Beach Vision. I'm here with Claudette Baisden. Welcome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Claudette, we're here at Clearwater Beach. It's one of 5 beaches that have been chosen for the Beach Vision. What can you tell us about it?
Well, Clearwater Beach is actually one of the larger beaches that are the beaches that have been chosen for the Beach Vision, besides Horseshoe Bay. But Clearwater has a lot to offer. It's a lot of family orientated. You have different cultures, churches that come down to Clearwater and enjoy Clearwater for the day. The beauty about it is that the water is very clear and it's shallow. You'll find that I have a lot of elderly people that do not like the waves on Horseshoe Bay Beach, so they find themselves at Clearwater. Clearwater is also a good attraction for entertainment, such as we just had a parade, our second parade. So this was definitely one of the venues that were chosen because it's very large and spacious. It has a playground, it has great parking space, and also if you want a little quiet, you can just step over to Cooper's Island or Turtle Bay, and then you can experience a different experience.
And it's kind of nice that it's away from residential areas so that noise doesn't bother the surrounding houses. What would you say to those that might have some environmental concerns with Clearwater being involved in the Beach Vision?
Well, I would say that in regards to the Kahal, in regards to our environmental concerns, I think the most important thing is to make that delicate balance between Beach Vision and the environment. So it's a delicate balance, and at the end of the day, what you want to do is you want to conserve and preserve for the current and future Bermudians and residents alike. So for example, what you wanted to say, for instance, somewhere like Horseshoe Bay Beach. In 2050, you would like for someone to go to Horseshoe Bay Beach and still see the pink sand that you see today. And that's important when I speak to making that delicate balance.
Right. And how would you say Clearwater is going to be different than, say, Horseshoe or John Smith's Bay, two beaches chosen for the Beach Vision?
What you find here in the summertime, what you'll find is very interesting, where you have religious groups, all sorts of cultures you can have. And as you know, Bermuda has a lot of cultures in Bermuda, and you'll find that they will all just come to Bermuda, enjoy the day at Clearwater, and they will all have that same respect and vision what they want for that day. What they want, they just want a peaceful day, want the families to enjoy themselves and have a good time. So Clearwater, I would say, it's because it's large, it's spacious also, and it also has lifeguards on duty. Clearwater is very important that a lot of tourists come to Clearwater, right, because they go to St. David's Lighthouse, and they often come down to Clearwater, so it's a twofold.
So there's easy parking, there's access for disabled,
Yeah.
It's great for families,
Yes,
and children. It seems like it has it all. Thanks so much, Claudette, for chatting with us today.
Come.
And thank you for joining us. We're here at Clearwater Beach, just one of the 5 beaches that's part of the Beach Vision. If you haven't checked it out yet, you better come down.
Whether you're a potential beach entrepreneur or an actual beach goer, we want to hear your views about what you just saw. Please email us and tell us what you think about this vision to build a Bermuda beach economy. We want to hear what you like about the plan. We want to know if there are any parts which you might not like. Your feedback is important to this process. Thank you for watching. We look forward to hearing from you.